Me and Earl was hauling chickens on a flatbed out of Wiggins. We spent all night on the uphill side of 37 miles of hill called Wolf Creek Pass, which is up on the Great Divide. We was sitting there sucking toothpicks and drinking knee-highs and onion soup mix, and I says, Earl, let's mail a card to Mother and then send them chickens on down to the other side. Yeah, let's give 'em a ride. Well, Earl put down his bottle, mashed his foot down on the throttle, and a couple of boobs and 1,000 cubes and a 1948 Peterbilt screamed alive. We woke up the chickens. We roared up off the shoulder, spraying pine cones, rocks, and boulders, and put 400 head of them Rhode Island Reds and a couple of burnt-out roosters on the line. Look out below, 'cause here we go. Well, we commenced a trucking, and those hens commenced a clucking, and Earl reached down, took out a match, scratched his pants, and lit up the unused half-a-dollar cigar, took a puff, says, "My, ain't this pretty up here?" I says, Earl, this hill can spill us. You better slow down. You're going to kill us. Just make one mistake, and it's the pearly gates for them 85 crates of USDA-approved cluckers. You want to hit second? Well, Earl grabbed on the shifter, and he stabbed her in the fifth gear, and then the chromium-plated, fully illuminated, genuine accessory shift knob came right off in his hands. I says, you want to screw that thing back on, Earl? Well, he was trying to thread it on there when the fire fell off his cigar and dropped down, sort of rolled around, then lit in the cuff of Earl's pants and burned a hole in his sock. Yeah, it sort of set him right on fire. Well, I looked down out of the window and I started counting phone poles going by at the rate of 4 to the 7th power. Well, I put 2 and 2 together and added 12 and carried 5 and come up with 22,000 telephone poles an hour. Well, I looked at Earl and his eyes was wide and his lip was curled and his leg was fried and his hands was froze to the wheel like a tongue to a sled in the middle of a blizzard. And I says, Earl, I'm not the type to complain, but the time has come for me to explain that if you don't apply some brake real soon, they're going to have to pick us up with a stick and a spoon. Well, Earl reared back, cocked his leg, and stepped down as hard as he could on the brake and pedaled right, clear to the floor and stayed right there on the floor. Said sort of like stepping on a plum. Well, from there on down, it just wasn't real pretty. It was Hairpin County and Switchback City. One of them looked like a camp full of worms, and the other one looked like malaria germs. Right in the middle of the whole darn show was a real nice tunnel. Now, wouldn't you know? Sign said clearance of the 12-foot line, but this chickens were stacked at 13.9. Well, we shot that tunnel at 110 like gas through a funnel and eggs through a hen. We took that top row of chickens off Slicker and scum off a Louisiana swamp. We went down and round and round and down till we run out of ground at the edge of town and bashed into the side of the feed store in downtown Pagosa Springs.
Okay.